Hey, good evening, my fellow Americans. Oh, excuse me. See, I catch my breath because I had to run here. I just couldn't drive. You know, gas was just like $4.37 a gallon here in Boca, and oh my gosh, I just decided to run. But good evening. My name's Iggy, and this is the Iggy Show. And today we're talking about why is gas so high, right? Oh my gosh. I'll tell you why gas is so high, and I'll make it simple for you. So back, a few years ago under the Trump administration, we had a little thing, or actually a pretty big thing and wonderful thing called the Keystone XL pipeline and the Dakota Access pipeline. These pipelines authorized by the Trump administration during those years to bring oil, cheap North American oil, from Canada, from its terminals in Alberta, all the way down by pipeline to Texas and Louisiana for refinery, so it can be sold in the market and turned into gasoline so we can have here in America. We were using North American energy. Now, we have President Robinette Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden in office. And what did Mr. Biden do? Well, January 20th of 2021, he decided to terminate and cancel the Keystone and Dakota Access pipelines. Why did he do this? Oh, because Native American land was one of his excuses. Well, I'll break it down and negate his excuses for you. By the way, here's an article from Reuters which says Canadian Indigenous group to invest up to 1 billion Canadian dollars in Keystone oil pipeline. So Native Americans in Canada actually invested 1 billion of their Canadian dollars into this project. So I don't see how it would be affecting them that bad. Oh, given that a lot of these working class Native Americans now are paying the exuberant cost we see at the pump. And it's not about the environment or indigenous peoples. It's about getting the political victory to say, yeah, I canceled those pipelines, to give to these environmental activists that actually, the elite of them, have a lot of money in clean energy, and a lot of Russian state-owned companies actually invest in activist organizations, NGOs like Sea of Change, in order to further Russian energy. So we as Americans have to depend on them and not have our own American energy independence. You know, before Mr. Biden canceled the pipelines, America was a net exporter of energy. Now we are a net importer. So not only are we buying oil from other nations instead of producing it and selling it, which would be good for the economy, anything works like that, but we're buying oil from nations that generally don't like us. Because if we look at this picture of OPEC and OPEC plus countries, the countries that are shaded here up on the screen, for OPEC countries, we have a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. Iran doesn't like us. Libya doesn't really like us. Iraq, a lot of issues there. Saudi Arabia, well, the Saudis could go either way. By the way, very authoritarian government that takes away the rights of women. That's another issue. Venezuela does not like us. Oh, and now we have the OPEC plus countries. Let's see. OPEC plus. Who's a member? Russia, the second largest exporter of energy in the world. So that's a member of OPEC plus. So not only do we have to buy oil from these countries that some of them generally do not like us, and some of them that we're at odds, for example, in the situation in Ukraine with, such as Russia, but we have to pay shipping companies to transport oil by tanker. Here you go, here's a picture of an oil tanker on the screen. And we got to pay for all their operations to transport that oil that we're buying. So not only are our oil tankers bigger than aircraft carriers, passenger ships, bulk carriers, and container ships, but it's also way more expensive to transport oil by tanker than it is by pipeline. Here's Forbes, and it says, speaking of cost, pipeline is also far and away the cheapest mode of transport. Ranges vary based primarily on distance travel and grade of crude, but pipeline transportation generally ranges between $2 and $4 per barrel. Now when we go by the Congressional Research Services, which estimates that transporting crude oil by pipeline is about $5 a barrel versus $10 to $15 a barrel, whether it be ship or rail or whatever. Here's a graph of gas prices in 2021, January, when Trump left office. It was $2.34, right? In the next subsequent months, gas kept going up. In Biden's first year, it went up to $2.80, then $3.17 by the end of the summer, then in December, $3.30 on average, and then in the beginning of February, $3.51. So now when Mr. Biden, his new talking point is blaming Vladimir Putin for your gas prices. Russia is a top exporter of gasoline, and we're at odds with them, so that's why gas is going up. Oh, well, yeah, Mr. Biden. So before Putin invaded Ukraine, the whole year that passed before Putin was even a factor, why was gas going up? Putin had invaded Ukraine by then, right? Really? Come on, none of us here are stupid. We've all seen gas go up incrementally the past few months, the past year. We've all seen it go up. What's your new excuse, Mr. Biden? Nothing. Because the facts are this. We had a pipeline that was transporting oil, cheap oil, from Canada down here. We were only paying $5 a barrel for the oil transport. Then you came into office, you shut down that pipeline, then you started buying oil from other countries, OPEC and OPEC Plus. And OPEC Plus, one of the members is Russia. That not only is going to cause America to import oil, but to, start spending more money on something we were actually producing and making money off of. But not only that, but now we got to pay for the shipping costs because there's no pipelines across the Atlantic. You don't see random pipelines across the Atlantic. Anyone who's traveled transatlantic knows that. No, you got to transport it by ship, by these tankers I put up on the screen. That's why your gas is going up. Simple. Not Putin. It's not Putin's fault. Putin wasn't invading Ukraine over the last year. Putin is not the president of the United States. Joe Biden is. And this was Joe Biden's decision to cancel the Keystone Pipeline, to cancel the Dakota Access Pipeline, and to make us buy oil from foreign countries instead of us selling it to them. He doesn't care about America. If he did, do you really think he would have made that choice?